Download the free Amazon app by CashCowPro today. Check your sales and profits on the go. Want to find highly profitable Amazon products? You need the top 100,000 Amazon niche selector. Yes, that's right. 100,000 of the best low competition niches on Amazon. Join the Amazon Gold Rush. Sign up at CashCowPro.com now.
Hi, everybody. In this episode, we are going to cover the top 7 tips for managing your inventory. So let's go. Tip number 1 is restock time. The production lead time and shipping time for your products will be constantly changing, either because the factory might be really busy or it could be peak season for shipping in the months leading up to Christmas. But you can still calculate an estimated restock time, which you can use to forecast future orders. Add up the time that it takes to manufacture your product, plus the shipping time, and some handling time, because Amazon does not always show your product in your account the same day that it arrives. If it takes the factory 33 days to make your product, another 30 days to ship it by sea, and you allow 7 days of handling time in Amazon, then the total restock time is 70 days. And that means that it could take over 2 months to get the product back in stock if you run out. That's why you need to constantly monitor your stock levels and sales velocity to prevent stockouts. Tip number 2 is buffer. Ideally, you should always have a minimum of 1 to 2 weeks of stock inside Amazon. That way you're covered if your freight is delayed for a few days for some reason, or maybe there's a delay in production. So if you sell 10 units a day, ideally you're going to want around 100 units in your minimum buffer at Amazon's warehouse. Tip number 3 is sales velocity. When calculating when you should reorder and also how much to reorder, the critical number is your sales velocity. This is how many units that you're selling on average per day over the last 3 days. 7 days, and 30 days. And you need to use an average because sales swing up and down on Amazon. So if over the last 7 days you've sold 70 units, your sales velocity would simply be 70 units divided by 7 days or 10 a day. Tip number 4, when should you reorder? If I have 1,000 units in stock and my sales velocity is 10 a day, I know that I'm going to have about 100 days of stock available. 1,000 units divided by 10 a day gives my stock days left. Now, we've calculated before that the reorder time is about 70 days, and I don't need to reorder yet, but in about 20 days' time, I will have enough to cover the restock time and the buffer. We're using days and not numbers to calculate when we should restock. Our buffer is 100 units, and that's 10 days of stock. It takes 70 days for the factory to make and ship the products into Amazon. At 10 units a day, that's 700 units. So we have to reorder once our stock hits 800 units. At the moment, it's 1,000, so we have about 20 days before we need to place the order. Tip number 5 is reorder amount. Okay. So you know that you need to reorder when your stock level is equal to your buffer plus your restock time. But how many units should you reorder? If you want to keep the minimal amount of stock and cash tied up in inventory, then you would reorder your sales velocity times your restock time. In this case, your sales velocity is 10 a day and your restock time is 70 days. So you need to order 700 units to arrive within 70 days to keep your stock at the optimal level. Tip number 6 is seasonality. For any sales velocity calculation or reorder amount, you need to consider seasonality. If it's December 20th, your sales velocity will be much higher than at other times of the year because it's the Christmas season. So, if you're reordering in January, you wouldn't rely on your sales velocity in late December because products sell 200 to even 400% more during Christmas. And likewise, if your item is related to hiking and camping, you would reduce your reorders in the late summer and autumn so that you're not left with a lot of stock during the slow winter season. Use common sense to determine a reorder in January. And finally, tip 7, never stock out. To summarize, your reorder date and amount is simply based upon how many that you're selling a day times how many days it takes to get the stock back in. If your sales velocity increases, you need to reorder sooner or more. For example, if you're now selling 20 a day and it takes 70 days to restock, you're going to need to place orders of 1,400 units each time. CashCowPro's software automatically calculates this for you. And I strongly recommend that you listen to this podcast again, make notes, then go to the CashCowPro blog and dig up this article, because there are several important concepts for managing your stock that you need to grasp.
Download the free Amazon app by CashCowPro today. Check your sales and profits on the go. Want to find highly profitable Amazon products? You need the top 100,000 Amazon niche selector. Yes, that's right. 100,000 of the best low competition niches on Amazon. Join the Amazon Gold Rush. Sign up at CashCowPro.com now.